We are the ones who don't know what we're fighting for. Give us a gun and send us all off to war. We are the ones who grow up in violent homes. We are the ones who don't know what's right or wrong. I know. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who are born into war. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who just don't give a fuck no more. No more. We are the ones who don't know why we're losing score. Give them a badge so they can send us to the morgue. We are the ones who are scared to walk out the door. We are the ones who don't know what we're dying for. I know. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who are born into war. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who just don't give a fuck. No. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who are born into war. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who just don't give a fuck no more. No. Get off his fucking neck! The man makes you know he can't fucking breathe! The man makes you know We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who are born into war. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who just don't give a fuck. No. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who are born into war. We are the ones. We are the ones. We are the ones who just don't give a fuck no more.
Warning: this podcast features adult subject matter, adult language, and things not meant for children to hear. Viewer discretion is advised. You've been warned. If it's Thursday, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of appropriate ages, to the latest episode of the I'm No Joe podcast, a show where every armchair quarterback can feel like Eddie Bravo. Today, as like most days, I've got a glorious panel here with me to help break down all the shit talking and shenanigans, the fight announcements and fuckery that have come out of the MMA world since we saw you fine folks last. Before we get into all of that, first and foremost, though, gentlemen, how you doing over there?
I'm pissed off. It's fucking cold here.
Yeah, I bet it's a little colder than what you've spent the last couple days in.
Just a bit. About 75 degrees difference, maybe 80.
I feel you on that, brother. It's coming down to the single digits here in Missouri again for the next couple of fucking days. I didn't get to experience any Hawaii weather though. It's just been kind of fucking shit here. But glad we get some more fights to talk about. I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you had a hell of a fucking time too, brother. But glad we got you back, man.
Just excited about fights and excited to see Volk fight again.
Hell yes. Hell yes. So With that being said, we will kick things off the way that we like to around here with a little bit of news and recent events, fight confirmations, fight cancellations, official rumor confirmations and denials, things of that nature, relevant information for the fight fans in the crowd here, things that we feel you guys need to know about that have happened in the past week. First and foremost, it brings me great pleasure to start the news segment this week with a Nelson. Because Zuffa Boxing had their inaugural debut last week, and in the middle of their very first broadcast, they got the stream taken down by copyright strike from their own fucking company live. So just goes to show you the copyright system is absolutely broken. Zuffa Boxing's first ever broadcast got taken down midstream by a Zuffa copyright strike. Nothing has made me giggle more in the last week because that just shows how fucking ridiculously over litigious and aggressive the UFC has been regarding content from their company as a whole. So that made me giggle very much so. That being said, we have got a couple of things from last weekend that we do need to talk about real quick before we go forward. We actually lost a fight last weekend on fight day. First card of the year, right out of the gate, we lost a fight right before the event started. We didn't know why until the event was over, but we know now that Michael Johnson versus Alex Hernandez was pulled because of suspicious betting anomalies that went down. There was a statement released after the fact, but Dana White came out and said at the press conference that they got tipped off from the gambling integrity, betting integrity, whoever the fuck it is that works with all the betting shit with them, that there had been a huge surge towards one side in terms of bets coming in that had been priorly seen as potential scandals. So the fight was pulled as a whole. And then later that evening, we got a statement from Michael Johnson and his manager that said that the UFC let them know about the incident and let them know that the fight was getting pulled, but it was not from anything on their side. So apparently there is a potential issue with Alexander Hernandez and a large influx suspicious enough to get the FBI involved for him to have won that fight right before it happened, and the fight was subsequently pulled. Johnson said that the UFC is working on getting him a new fight as soon as possible. Not rebooking that one, but getting a new fight. So it definitely sounds now like Hernandez might have some issues with the FBI coming up very shortly. We will absolutely stay on top of that story and keep you updated as news from that comes out. The other big one from last weekend, I don't remember the last time I agreed with the broadcast commentary so quickly and so succinctly as I did last weekend when they said that it was long overdue that Dominic the Dominator Cruz was officially inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame as the first member of the class of 2026. That man quite literally helped put the bantamweights on the map and defined what the upper echelon of footwork in MMA is. There have been many try and no one has ever been able to do what Dominic Cruz has done. So absolute tip of the fucking cap. Well fucking deserved to see him get his Hall of Fame announcement. Very fucking cool to see it. We got kind of an interesting one here considering that we are 3 days away from February and there has already been two real American fighting wrestling matches from Yoel Romero. And then last week, right after one of his wrestling matches, he announced that he is pulling out of the co-main event for BKFC Knucklemania, which takes place next weekend, with a quote-unquote serious case of the flu. Ironically enough, BKFC stepped up immediately, and instead of Lorenzo Hunt losing his chance to be in that card and fight Yoel Romero, they're going to give him his rematch in Lorenzo Hunt versus Mike Mundell over there. So we have got the Redneck versus the Juggernaut Part 2 as the co-headliner for BKFC Knucklemania 6 next weekend. No word on when Yoel might be getting back into action, but he has said he is working on recovering as quickly and as effectively as he can because his health is now one of his main priorities where it was not in his youth. So there's a lot to be read between the lines there, but we'll see how that one actually plays out as time moves on here. One of my favorite announcements of the week did not have this anywhere on the radar, caught me completely fucking off guard, and instantly put a fucking smile on my face, and I'm sure everybody else that saw it as well. We got official confirmation April 11th from Miami, Florida. UFC 327 just added a fucking spectacular fight to that card lineup in the form of Cub Swanson versus Nate the Train Landwehr. That is as good of a fucking car crash as you are going to get with Justin Gaethje on the sideline at the moment. I was so fucking stoked to see that fight. Cub is just about at the end of his run, but very clearly still very fucking capable. So the fact that they're going to throw him in there against Nate the Train, that's going to be one you are not going to want to fucking miss. I'm telling you right now, that's going to be a great fucking fight. That being said, on the other side of that coin, we got official word this week that the Gypsy King himself, Tyson Fury, has unretired for the 17th time in his career and will be fighting the current WBC heavyweight champion for the belt, Arslanbek Makhmudov, excuse me. Also, April 11th, going head to head against UFC 327. This is widely being considered a tune-up fight for him to try and get back into the relevant rankings of heavyweights because predominantly nobody really knows who the fuck Makhmudov is, even though he is on a current 7 fight unbeaten streak and is an almost 7-foot tall Russian who trains by wrestling with bears Khabib style for real. So it could be a very interesting match, but I don't think he's going to get nearly the eyes he anticipated going head to head against UFC 327. I could be wrong, but I think that point in the Gypsy King's career has kind of passed, and I don't think he's going to be able to pull eyes away from UFC 327. We'll see, though. That being said, we also got word just yesterday afternoon, officially speaking, the UFC has quote-unquote released Patchy Mix from his contract after just 2 fights. He is no longer on the UFC roster, and immediately announced by Patchy Mix right after that announcement was made was that he has now officially signed with Ryzen and will be competing on March 7th, making his featherweight debut, moving up to 145 pounds to take on Kyoto Akimoto. This feels like when you see your former boss get fired from the company and then you see him driving the ice cream truck the next week and he says, no, it's cool. I'm still working. I'm okay. You're not. You going to Ryzen after embarrassing yourself out of the UFC is not okay. Brandon Patchy Mix is a very capable fighter. We have seen him prove that time and time again. Hopefully, for his sake, he puts together a great fucking run over in Ryzen and then possibly gets a second chance at the UFC. But as of right now, it looks like he blew his only opportunity to really make it in the big leagues and will now spend the rest of his career bouncing around the B League promotions until he retires. We'll see, but he definitely shit the bed when he got his opportunity for the big show, and it is starting to come to fruition at this point. That being said, last one I have got for this week caught me kind of off guard because it had been very, very hush hush. I didn't know anything about it until the full story was released this week. The final card of the year for the UFC was originally supposed to have Jillian Robertson versus Yasmin Lucindo. That fight got changed up a week and a half-ish before that event happened. We didn't really know why. Jillian just said that the UFC called her and told her opponent was out. She got the replacement fight. That all worked out. Everything was hunky-dory. Well, now we know why that didn't work out, because it turns out that Yasmin Lucindo actually tested positive for misterolone, an anabolic steroid, and has accepted a 9-month suspension. There are no claims of tainted supplements. This one basically just got caught. She accepted it, and she is taking her time. She's getting a lighter sentence because it's her first one, but this might explain a lot of Yasmin Lucindo's wavering performances towards the tail end there, if she actually was using some sauce and was tailing off, and that's when we saw her career start to falter. This could be the beginning of the end of Yasmin Lucindo's career, depending on how this plays out going forward. Hopefully it's not. She was a very fun fighter. A lot of us were very, very keen on her potential future, but dopers don't get to stay around long in professional sports, not at the highest level anyway. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that story plays out once it comes a little bit more to fruition here. That being said, that is what I have got for news. Any of you gentlemen have anything that I might have missed this week?
I had to get up for a second, but did you touch on Kennedy and Sheckwu
No, I did
getting
not.
pulled out?
I
So
did not mention that one.
he's out of the fight against Vitor Petrino. And the only reason I mention this is because I like the motherfucking kid Steven Asplund. And he's the one stepping up on short notice here. When's that happening?
I was gonna
March
say
14th.
the
March
14th card, yeah.
14th. So just a little over a month here. We're getting to see Steven Asplund back in against Vitor Petrino. So that's an exciting one. See how Asplund does in his second go in the UFC.
Yeah, see if he makes as big of a splash in the second go around as he did in the first, for sure. So, that being said, that is all I've got for news this week. But since this is UFC 325 week, that means that we are getting back-to-back numbered events, which means this Saturday, just like last Saturday, me and this, wait, no, he's over there. Me and this gentleman over here will be live 1 hour before the early prelims kickoff to bring you the pregame show and give you all the last minute up-to-date news and relevant information getting you into UFC 325. What that also means is that we get to bring back our fan favorite segment, the Casual Corner. So that being
Woohoo!
said, how you doing over there, Flintlock?
I'm doing good, brother. How about you?
I am here. So we have got a very, very interesting pay-per-view, former pay-per-view, now just quote unquote numbered event coming up this weekend. The pay-per-view, not pay-per-view, the main card portion of this numbered event has a pair of very interesting fights to top it. So we would like your take on these here, starting off with our co-main event this weekend. Dan the Hangman Hooker getting back into action after hand surgery to take on the surging Frenchman Benoit Saint Denis. How do you think that one shakes loose?
Oh, I think Hooker takes it.
I have a strong indication that you are correct, sir.
But I think he might baby his hand a little bit.
There is a lot of questions about that hand. There is, for sure. So we will definitely find that out for sure Saturday. That will bring us, though, to our main event, the run back from Noche, Alexander the Great Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes for the UFC's featherweight belt. Who do you think takes the gold home Saturday night?
Okay, so I love both of these fighters. They both put on amazing shows. I've seen both of them go to fucking war and just
Absolutely.
it's on their shield or with it, either way. But I want Volk to win it again. I'm not ready for him to. I'm not ready. Nope.
Yep. I get it. I think you might be onto something there. So we will definitely talk more about this Saturday as well. But Appreciate your time, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. You guys have a great night.
You as well, sir. So that being said, if you've been watching combat sports as long as some of us have been watching combat sports, generally speaking, you start to learn what you like and when it comes on and how to watch it. And after so long, you start to inevitably develop a set of blinders and you lose the forest for the trees, as it were. Luckily for us here on the show, we have got ourselves a bona fide young person out there, ever so diligently and ever so delicately fingering the pulse of the MMA world to help keep us abreast of all the names that are going to be names before they are names in a little segment that we call Slows, Cans, and Contenders.
Appreciate you, brother. So, like always, we'll try to run through this pretty quick. This is a decent card. Glad they're in Australia. That crowd should be pretty fun. I'm not looking forward to all the ads again. I don't think the bitching and complaining from us fans are going to change anything. We're still probably going to get shorted on the walkouts and the corner spots. And that's just shitty. And cutting that out for us fans, it's rough, man. It's fun to see the walkouts for some of those fighters and some of the fights. And mainly, it's awesome to see that corner work, to get to hear the coaches and stuff like that. I don't want to see fucking ads. Or even paying for the ad-free version and still had ads, no different. We'll see if that ever changes in the future, but I doubt it. We'll start with the trash this weekend. There is some to be had. I think the Jacob Malkoon and Torres Finney fight is one that I'm going to have to throw in the trash. It's been a while since Jacob Malkoon's even fought. He is closer to home. But Torres Finney, he's shown on the Contender Series and in his debut. And he is not really a fighter. He is a grappler. I don't necessarily want to see two big dudes trying to hug each other for 15 minutes. That's what I think that fight's going to give us. And you got which one is it? The Tafa brother, Junior Tafa. 2-4 so far in the UFC, 1-3 in his last four. I feel like he's the can of the two brothers for sure. The older brother is taking time away from the sport, as we know, but going down to light heavyweight, I don't think has helped at all. Billy Elikana has been real rocky since he got into the UFC, and the dude is not a very exciting fighter. Even put on one of the most boring fights that we have seen in a fat minute last year against Ivo Aslan. That was not a fun one. So I'm not looking forward to that fight either. You throw both of those in the trash. You got Cody Brundage. He seems like a decent human being, man. He's one of those guys. You see, the journeyman fighter. You need him sometimes to get their asses whooped, but he's one of those guys. I'm surprised he's still in the UFC, especially when they made her mention in the news. The cut patchy mix after the two. Oh, I know. I mean, Patchy looked rough in those two, but after the two, and then Cody Brundage is still around. That one's weird. And then the last trash one, Con Offley versus Jai. I feel like that's another one. This fight could be really weird. Uh, Jai did win by knockout in his second fight, but he lost his debut by a bad decision, and Offley has not looked good since he got into the UFC. So I feel like this could be one of those throwaway fights on the card. As for the on the fence stuff, I do like Tai Tuivasa for a Schrodinger's can tender. He's just always so fun, man. He created the Shui movement, and how he's at home. He's taken a lot of time off of fighting. I don't know if he'll be in the greatest fucking shape, but for fuck's sake, he'll probably still be able to throw some bombs, and he'll have that crowd behind him. Love to see him get a win and just bounce back in there. Heavyweight's so fucking thin. Ty gets some exciting wins. He's right back in the mix, and that's all you ever need. You just find that right crack of the button at heavyweight, and he gets you some wins. So I feel like he can bounce back, but at the same time, the dude is on what, like a 5-fight losing streak and taking a year off of fighting. So of course, if he loses again, it might just be time for him to, move on to better things. but I'd rather not fucking see that. So we're still throwing them in the potential Schrodinger's contender here. And then as for a fight, I think the John Mikulev and Oben Elliott fight has potential to be something interesting. I'm not high on Elliott at this point. I know he got hyped up at the beginning. He's like the Welsh um, gangster or whatever, trying to kind of take a chill, sunning approach to the persona. And even Chael likes the guy and just tried to hype him up as well. But Mikulev, I think, has some potential here. I think this fight could be exciting between the two of them. Mikulev having the Australian crowd behind him could be interesting. As for the good shit, we got the fucking co-main event, the main event. Throw that out there to begin with. We got two badass fights on this card, just like we had some potential good ones last weekend. Some of them didn't pan out quite the way we had hoped, but that main event still panned out. No, that was some fun shit. I mean, even some people said it was sloppy. I don't give a fuck about sloppy. Those two tough motherfuckers that went at it, and I was surprised. I thought Patty was going to get dog walked the entire fucking time. And in a way, he did. And we were right. But at the same time, the motherfucker showed me a lot more toughness than I thought the kid actually had. Getting knocked on his ass the multiple times. I thought that fight was over multiple times. And he kept it going. So good on him for that. I do feel like he has that chance to grow from that loss, and he can beat a lot of the motherfuckers that are behind them in the rankings and keep himself towards the top. You know, he could be one of no different than a Dustin or some shit like that. I don't know if you'll ever be champion in this life, but you showed you can get into some bar fights and you can keep yourself up near the top because of that. And you can make you some money and you can be in exciting fights and you stay fucking humble like he has in his last couple. And, you know, maybe stop fighting old dudes too. That would help. But this time he got beat by the 38-year-old. So, I mean, it was good shit. But that was the only one of the main card that was really damn good. That main card kind of slept on, but I'm excited about these mains. Co-main and the main, the Hooker and Benoit and Volk and Diego. I don't feel like those can fail us. I mean, obviously, knock on wood, things can happen, but we also got the Fiziev and Roofy fight. I feel like that's going to be like a Matrix fight, or at least I'm hoping for it. The things that those two have done previously or can do, the fucking shit that we've seen Fiziev dodge, just like stand there and just woo, like Matrix dodge some kicks, and then the kicks that Roofy can throw. I'm excited for this. This was good matchmaking. And we got some young ones on here that I'm excited to see. Quill and Salkild, I'm excited to see how he continues to grow. Getting the fight against Jamie Malarkey's a good veteran test. He's got the hometown crowd behind him, and the kids look good since getting in the UFC. I like Aaron Tao to an extent. I will see if he can have a future. He's just another tough New Zealander. You know, it's got the badass features. You got the Maori face paint and all that. But we'll see how he can do getting in here, his debut in the UFC. Cam Roston, he's shown us he can knock some motherfuckers out in his debut. So I'm excited to see how he can continue to build as well. That's all I got. I'd like to hear if you boys got any other shit that I missed, or if you disagree on the points that I've made here. Run it on.
I'm gonna keep this short, sweet, and to the point. I just got back from vacation. I have done absolutely zero research this week. Zero. None. Zilch. Nada. I didn't get home till Tuesday night. So we're on a 2-day turnaround time. To even be here is fucking ridiculous. I'm fucking exhausted, a little jet lagged still. Anyhow, yeah. I definitely from the top down, the main card looks fucking fantastic, with the exception of, God, I hate to say this because I'm a big fan, Tai Tuivasa and Taliesin Teixeira. Teixeira has been fucking murdering people. Tuivasa, 5-fight skid. To be fair, the people that Tuivasa lost to are at the top. Or, well, the vast majority of them have been at the top. Let me say that. The unfortunate part about that is his last win was in 2022 when he knocked out Derek Lewis, who also has taken a long ass skid. So I don't think that we're going to see Ty go anywhere.
Derek did beat Teixeira though. That's the we can't play MMA math, but it is the only fucking
I
reason
mean,
I'm still holding on to hope with
you're
that.
right. To be fair, that is there. So
That's
I
where
mean,
Teixeira's coming off of. He's coming off a knockout loss at Mr. Lewis. So
yeah, and we can't do the MMA math thing, but I'm
nope,
just
nope.
saying,
I just had
Lewis
to mention.
Lewis did have that long ass skid. What was that? 4, 5, 6 fights? It was a long fucking skid. The same thing Tai Tuivasa is on. But I have had a chance to see some social media stuff. And Ty looks like he's dropped a lot of weight, which that's a scary prospect because he could already move as a big man. Losing that extra weight is going to give him that extra step that he needs and is going to make him faster. So I don't think he's going to lose the power because the power that dude had was not trainable power. That was just fucking bam bam power. That's all there was to that. There's a reason for that nickname. But that fight doesn't excite me as much because it could end up being a walrus slap fight because Tai Tuivasa is known to get tired. We haven't seen Talish and Teixeira go into deep waters. So if it gets into deep water with these two, it could get kind of boring. Other than that, main card looking great. I will 100% agree that I am on board with wanting to see what Quillen Salkild is doing because after his last victory with that head kick, the dude's got grappling skills for days, but now you know there's striking potential there too. Granted, his striking isn't top tier. I will say that. It is not. But his grappling is fucking on par with some of the best in the lightweight division right now. Jamie Malarkey, guy that's been around for a long fucking time. I'm kind of sad to see two fucking Australians when they could have probably mixed it up and gave him somebody outside of Australia there. But hey, you know, as as a whole, they did a great job of making sure that damn near every fight, with the exception of was it Fiziev and Rufi, I think are either from there's a fighter from either Australia or New Zealand on every other fight on the card, with the exception of that one fight, which is fucking amazing. Anytime that they go abroad, they always do a great job of it. This card is no exception. Junior Tafa, I have to throw in a contender position. I like the Tafa brothers, but neither one of them have shown a lot. I mean, there's a reason why the elder is taking a hiatus right now. He needs to see if he really wants to be here. Junior is in that same category. He's pulled out of quite a few fights where he stepped in for his brother, or his brother has stepped in for him, type thing. So something where they need to figure it out. If he doesn't get a win here, I don't think they hold him much longer because you know it. So I mean, yes, there is a sunk cost fallacy to that, but as we can tell, the UFC is not about that sunk cost fallacy when you get a guy like Pechimix, who was outside of the UFC, known to be fucking an electric fighter, comes in and just acts boring as shit. At this point, we got to start dropping people like flies because there's a lot of them on here. Um, Anything Cody Brundage is associated with, I don't want to talk about. I'm not a fan, so we'll just move on from that. Um, Also, this is another one that I think this whole fight can go in the trash is the Jacob Malkoun and Torrey Finney, or Torres Finney. That whole fight as a whole doesn't excite me. I'm not a Malkoun fan. He's one of the few Australian fighters that I just can't find anything good to say about. And Jonathan Metcalf and Oban Elliott, that should be interesting. I'll say it's going to be interesting. I'm not going to say it's going to be great, but it'll be interesting as both of these guys are young into the UFC career, and it could tell a lot about what their trajectory is for the both of them. As far as the fucking early prelims, there's nothing on there that screams I need to watch it. I am I am intrigued about Aaron Tao. Not because of the facial tattoos, but because of the stuff that we've seen prior to him making it to the UFC. He's looked like he could be an exciting fighter at flyweight, and I'm hoping he keeps up that same fucking energy. But other than that whole fucking early prelims thing, everybody on there is where they deserve to be right now, as far as that is concerned. And I'll even say the prelims, those are about right for everybody there, with the exception of Cody Brundage. He can go to hell. Um, Main card, fantastic, and hopefully, let's put it this way: one I do want to specifically highlight is the Dan Hooker and Benoit Saint Denis. Dan Hooker will go out on his fucking shield, and so will Benoit Saint Denis. That could potentially be fight of the night, because those two motherfuckers will go to war. I will guarantee it. And that's without doing any research in the last fucking month that we've had off. I haven't done any because I knew I was missing last week.
Yeah, I will agree. The one thing the UFC did 100% correct on this card is representation. With the exception of that fucking Bizia versus Hoofy, and then one other fight on the early prelims, every single fight on this card has an Australian or a New Zealander in it. So they have got their representation covered. Just to touch back real quick, I will do you the solid here. I did find the one good thing we can say about Jacob Malkoun. He's got a great training partner in Bobby Knuckles. That's about it though. That's pretty much the end of that list. Yeah, I don't have high hopes for that fight to begin with as well. I will say I don't have anything against Jonathan Mikulev, but I don't think that Oban Elliott fight has much to offer either. This I know we've only got a fucking a sample set of 2 as of right now, but this is absolutely the weaker of the 2 numbered cards that the UFC has put forth so far. The main card is solid as a fucking rock. That being said, everything not on the main card is really kind of questionable. There's, like we always say, there's always a diamond in the rough somewhere, but the prelims and the early prelims are going to be a tough watch. Even Theo's going to have a hard time enjoying himself through all of this one, I think. But once we get to that fucking main, excuse me, to get to that main card, every fight on that main card has the potential to be fucking crazy. So, uh, I'm I gotta say I'm honestly more curious to see if Paramount Plus makes any changes to the ads than I am to see how this card plays out, because this card looks to be a decent middle of the road, potentially good card on paper here. The real issue is going to be with Paramount Plus for anybody that watched last weekend. You know what I'm talking about. But there's a lot of good on this card. I am particularly curious about the co-main event. The fucking car crash that is going to be Dan Hooker versus Benoit Saint Denis has a lot of fucking interest for me. But I will say, unpopular opinion, I don't like the main event. And it's not because I don't like the fight, it's because I don't like the way that it came together. Diego Lopez is undoubtedly at the top of the featherweight division. But after his title loss, or his interim title loss, however you want to look at it, all he had to do to get back to an immediate title shot was beat John Silva. They weren't going to give John Silva this title shot if he beat Diego Lopez. I can promise you that much. That was not going to be an option for him. But he beats John Silva and they put him right back into the title shot. And if you saw the performance that John Silva put on last weekend, I think this is a little bit weird to see. I don't know that John Silva is ready for the title shot yet, but compared to the performance that Diego put on against John and the performance that John just put on last weekend, Diego Lopez sure as fuck got an easy route back to a title shot, in my opinion. And I don't really care for it. I feel like Diego Lopez should have had to get another big discernible fucking win to put himself in that situation. And I'm not saying that John Silva should be in there. He took that loss to Lopez and that bumped him back down the line as well. But when you saw the bounce back performance of John Silva last weekend versus Diego Lopez's performance against John Silva in his quote unquote bounce back fight, One of these things is not like the other. That's for damn sure. I still think there's potential for it to be a good fight, but I just think that Volkanovski's a motherfucker in a rematch, man. He's a motherfucker in a rematch. And he's not in a rematch now because he had an easy turnaround fight. He's in a rematch now because Diego did. I still think it could be a fun fight. I'm just not as excited about as I could have been the other potential matchups at 45. But either way this one goes, it sets up some next potential interesting matchups. I'm not terribly thrilled about this one.
I actually really agree with you on that point. Just because you're not wrong. Volk is a motherfucker with rematches. He's going to learn a lot from it. But then, yeah, Diego didn't really deserve it. I also wanted Lerone, especially after that fucking spinning back elbow knocking Aaron Pico out. Like, that one would have been a fun one to see. The UFC does UFC shit. But going back to the ads to finish things off, man, I am gonna be so fucking pissed. Dude, so much more than last week because we were talking about the main event this week. When you not only that, but the co-main event, the Dan Hooker and Benoit Saint Denis. If we don't have the corner with Dan Hooker, like if they're going to war and Dan Hooker's fucking sitting in the corner, fucking losing his mind, going crazy, do the good moments that we've got. I mean, we don't get that. If we don't get the man down under walkout with Volkanovski, which is just it's a part of Volk's whole thing. You don't get that. That's part of the whole main event. Man, dude, we got to start right. I don't give a fuck. We, we always had a way to stream it before. Whether my dumb ass paid for some pay-per-views or not, I'd be completely fine with not paying the $15 a month and going back to the old school way of things, if that's the way it's got to be for us to see some fucking walkouts and corner shit. But that's all for me, boys. Appreciate you.
Now that this is my first week back in a while, I have one other thing to go on this Paramount thing. Why in God's green earth do they have it separated by early prelim, and main card if there is no fucking pay-per-view? It's all on Paramount Plus from start to finish.
The early prelims, they did that last weekend too, and they didn't write it out explicitly. What they're actually, I'm guessing if it's the same as last weekend, what they're actually going to do is the early prelims still get broadcast on Fight Pass as well as Paramount Plus, and all of the promotions and all of the commercials and the broadcast shit during the early prelims is for UFC Fight Pass. Then when they switch to the actual regular prelims, then it's all Paramount Plus going forward.
Still sounds fucking stupid to me. You can do all that without separating it.
Yes.
I'm just saying. If you want to say, well, these two fights are going to be on Fight Pass, sure. Or these four or whatever the number is as well. It's all just one fucking card at this point because you're not having to switch from one platform to the next like we used to, where it used to be all on Fight Pass for the early prelims, and then ESPN would have the main card, and then or the prelims. And then if you wanted the fucking pay-per-view, you had to pay for the pay-per-view. There's no point in it being separated at this point. Just say the first three cards of every fucking card are going to be on UFC Fight Pass. Move on with your life. There's no reason to separate them anymore. But, I know I'm splitting hairs here, but it just seems kind of fucking stupid and redundant to me at this point. Unless they're leaving this open because, well, we're not going to have paid-per-views anymore, but it looks like we might because we're still separating the cards for no apparent fucking reason at this point.
No, I absolutely agree. And furthermore, this proves that they are still willing to separate out the event into pieces like this. And if they're willing to still do that, bring back the Facebook prelims because we don't need this bullshit clogging up the regular feed.
Ding, 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 ding. Nailed it in one.
But that being said, though, that will bring us to the only segment of the show that does require its own individual disclaimer. So, all right. Tapology.com does not in any way, shape, or form support, sponsor, or endorse the I'm No Joe podcast. Yet. That being said, they do give you the option to go onto their website, create a free account, and make fantasy-style MMA picks like we do here on the show. They even let you make groups. So we made one. It's called I'm No Bookie, all one word, or Group 965, whichever is easier for you to use. You are welcome and encouraged. Make yourself an account, join the group, and then let us know who the hell you are, and we will hold your picks accountable with our picks in a little segment that we call Tapology with TJ.
All right, newsflash, this just in. I'm back after a very long hiatus and a vacation, which is why I missed last week. Also, during this same newsflash, I will go ahead and call myself out. I didn't put in picks last week, and I didn't give two flying fucks to either, because I was enjoying drinking on a fucking beach in Hawaii. Blame me all you want. I don't give a flying fuck. I was in nice warm weather while most of y'all were freezing your asses off or dealing with an ice storm throughout the US. Suck it. Now, with all of that being said, I'll hop right back into it. Let's go. Last week would have been. Why am I not able to see last week's event on Tapology? What the fuck is going on
Last week
here?
was not set up in Tapology. The UFC did not officially update their list until this week. So I actually talked to Don about that last week. They had no Tapology options for us because of how everything came together last week.
Well, in that case, fuck Tapology. I can move on from there. No picks for me. And I got away with it for free. You hear me? For free, bitches. Speaking of for free, we know you like free shit. Otherwise, you'd be a member of the Patreon. And since you like free shit, go join Tapology. It is absolutely free. Group 965. I'm no bookie. Come find us. Let us know who you are. I'll give you a pat on the back when you do well. I'll tell you when you suck big fat donkey dick, too. Everybody gets treated equally around here. The love and the hate. It doesn't fucking matter. But it's absolutely free. So take your cheap ass over there. Join Tapology. Join the group. If you don't want to let us know who you are, make sure you change your username. Because if I recognize it, I am going to call you out. I'm just saying. In the meantime, what we'll do is we'll make this short, sweet, and to the point and hop right on over to some BetMGM odds because they're fucking back. Well, I'm back. They were probably there before. I just wasn't here last week, so I don't fucking care. For the most part, the vast majority of this card is coin flips. Or pretty damn close to it. So I'll hit a couple of highlights and then I won't say highlights, I'll say slightly wide odds. Yeah, we'll call them slightly wide odds. We're going to start right here at the Tai Tuivasa and Taliesin Teixeira. Teixeira coming off of a knockout loss to Derek Lewis, coming in as a minus 350 favorite over a long hiatus Tai Tuivasa at a plus 275 underdog. Little wide, but I mean, it's heavyweight. I can't say that the odds are ever super correct on those because, well, at heavyweight, it's only a moment's notice before somebody's lights goes out. There's no warnings. You don't get to try to pay off your back rent. You're going to sleep. Oh, another one we're going to touch on here is Cam Roston and Cody Brundage. Cam, Australian fighter, coming in as a minus 375 favorite over a fuck you Cody Brundage is a plus 300 underdog. I like those odds. One that's, I won't say fairly wide, but it's on the early prelims. That is in air quotes for those of you that are just listening. We understand some of us own TVs as well. We wouldn't want to look at this either. And that's Lawrence Liu, and I'm not trying to fuck up his name, Sulangrabo. Probably martyring that, but whatever. We'll just call him Bo for short. Bo getting at the minus 275 nod over Liu in the plus 220 underdog. Like I said, the rest of this card is pretty close to coin flips. There is one other that is equal to that, and that's the Junior Tafa and Billy Elikana. Elikana coming in as a minus 250 favorite over a plus 200 in fucking Junior Tafa. Like I said, not super wide odds on the card. But there is one crazily wide odd, which I think is way too fucking wide. And I'm gonna call it right fucking now. And that is Quillen, Selkild, and Jamie Malarkey. Selkild coming in as a minus 1,000 favorite over a plus 625 in Jamie Malarkey as the underdog. I'll say it right now. While I like Quillen, I don't think that those odds are correct because, yes, he's been pretty dominant, but we also have to look at the level of fighters he's been fighting, with the exception of his last fight in that head kick knockout. Yes, that was a much higher jump in fucking who you're fighting. But other than that, everyone else has been kind of I'll call them low journeyman fighters. That's the easiest way I can think to put that because a lot of them have been around for a while, but a lot of them have never gone anywhere. Selkid, to his credit, has definitely dominated every one of his fights that he's been in. But I don't think it's that. Jamie Malarkey is a crafty veteran. To be fair, he's never been anywhere near the top. But on the other side of that, because he's a crafty veteran, he could give Selkid some problems. So if you're going to bet an underdog in this fight, it might be the time to bet a Jamie Malarkey if you're going to throw something at it. If you've got an extra $100 later on, go ahead and throw it at it. That's a plus 625 in your pocket. But I'm not saying he's going to win that, but I still think those odds are way wider than they should be. Hopefully, people don't go and bet the shit out of the underdog and have this one pulled for some random fucking betting scandal bullshit. But to be fair, I will give credit to the UFC. I'm glad they pulled that fight in a case like that because we don't need that shit happening again. Just pull it. Don't even let it happen. Nobody wins, nobody loses. Excuse me. But that is the widest odds on the card. And as per usual, I will go right back into the co-main and main. The co-main, what I will say is going to be the best train wreck of the entire fucking night, in my opinion. Benoit Saint-Denis and Dan Hooker. Hooker coming in as a plus 275 underdog at home to a minus 350 favorite in Benoit Saint-Denis. At home, I think that's kind of a tall task, but Benoit Saint-Denis he's a killer. Granted, he did run into a brick wall at one point, but he's got his shit back together and he looks like that other fucking Benoit Saint-Denis that was scaring the shit out of everybody. And for good reason. But Hooker ain't gonna go out that easy at home. Guaranteed. That's gonna be a dog fight. Oh. Volkanovski, Diego Lopez. Lopez coming in as a plus 120 underdog. Volk coming in as a minus 145. And again, both Christian and Meter touched on it earlier. Volkanovski is a motherfucker in a rematch. He learns so goddamn much. He is a goddamn monster in a rematch. I don't think Diego Lopez has got that same monster in him. I mean, we'll find out, but I think those odds are a little too coin flippy for my liking. I think they should be slightly odder, like maybe a 300 plus 250, something like that, plus somewhere in those neighborhoods. But then again, I'm not the odds makers. You don't have to trust me. In fact, I'm not giving you betting advice here. I'm just telling you what the odds say. Now, know that your odds may vary depending on where you look, whether it is Caesars, FanDuel, fucking whatever, DraftKings, I don't fucking know. Wherever you're getting your fucking information from. If you're going to bet, do it responsibly. Don't bet the fucking house, because, well, this is MMA. Everyone has a puncher's or kicker's chance. The fights all start, every round starts standing up. Know that things can change in an instant. If you are going to bet and you win big, feel free to donate to our cause by joining the fucking Patreon. At a pretty high tier if you can do it. I mean, if you bet the house and you win a couple mil, go ahead and join the Patreon. We're not going to be sad about it. I'm just saying, I could use another new computer because, well, this thing doesn't stay running forever. That's all we got this week. Hopefully, the UFC sets the roster so we can actually put some picks in. But shit could change. If there's nothing to talk about on Tapology, I'm still going to tell you to go join it because it's still a great fucking platform. But also, we're not paid by them. Did I mention that? And I'm still giving them an endorsement. It's that good of a fucking platform for it's free picks. It's not costing you any money. Go do it. Join us. Have some fun. That's all I got this week.
Thank you very much, sir. Much appreciated. That being said, that is going to be all that we have got for this particular episode. So first and foremost, if you are new here, thank you for tuning in. If you enjoy what we get up to around here and the kind of nonsense we get up to, give us a thumbs up. Maybe consider subscribing. If you really like it, share an episode with a friend. We got plenty in the backlogs to keep you occupied. If you are not aware, I mentioned it at the beginning. I'll mention it again here. Saturday, what time are we kicking off? I believe we are going at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Flintlock and I will be live right here on the I'm No Joe YouTube channel and Twitch channel, dual stream there as well. For the pregame show, we will bring you any last minute information, all of the weigh-in information, things like that. And we will go fight by fight down this whole card and get you stoked leading right into the early prelims for UFC 325. That being said, if you do like what we get up to around here, please make sure your notifications are turned on and you've got that thumbs up pressed with the subscription in there. If you want to help out around here, the best way to do that, patreon.com/I'm No Joe. For as little as $1 a month, as much as you are comfortable giving, you help us do what we do around here. And in exchange for that, we give you first and foremost your name on the end of every broadcast on this channel to let everyone know how fucking awesome you are. But the other side of that, if you contribute at any level to the I'm No Joe Patreon, you also get unrestricted and unfiltered access to all the behind the scenes, unaired and unairable content. Everything that got us kicked off of OnlyFans is all up there. We also do Patreon exclusive content now that is up there for only the people who contribute get to enjoy that. So that being said, if you like it, you got plenty of options to show how much you like it. The other side of that coin, though, if you don't like what we get up to around here, first and foremost, what are you still doing this deep into a podcast you didn't enjoy? Give it a thumbs down and go fuck yourself. We won't even dispute it. That being said, when we wrap things up around here on Thursday night, that is not the end of the fun because tomorrow and pretty much every Friday, he's over there. This gentleman and his other half drop their podcast, the Slow Bake and Contemplate podcast, over on Spreaker.com. Links to the podcast as well as their social media and their channel over on the I'm No Joe Discord server. Be sure to go over there, click the links, and tell them how fucking awesome they're doing.
Appreciate you, brother. And you can't forget, now that he's back from fucking Hawaii, everybody's got to show the brother some massive love. Everything in golf tees should be down in the description as well. Make sure you go show the brother golf tees some love with all his whatnots and what have you. Even though I don't think he's going to be doing that regular streaming anymore himself, you still show the brother some love where you can, when you can. Glad to have him back with us.
Thank you, sir. You're right. That regular stream is like old Yeller. I've taken her out to fucking pasture. That's it. Yeah. Now, there may be some downtime between now and the next time we do a show. If you have some downtime, little birdie tells me the meter does many things. Best way to go find each and every one of those many things that the meter does do is by going down below, clicking on the link tree. Tree/ the meter does many things, link tree/ I'm No Joe. It'll take you to each and every one of the many things that the meter does do. Now, I am not going to sit here and blow smoke up your ass, but he will definitely blow some smoke your way if you're catching my drift. So you may as well go over there, check out those links, and see all that new shit that's coming out. It's worth your time.
Thank you very much, sir. Much appreciated. That is going to be all that we have got for this particular episode. So if you missed it, join the fucking Tapology group. It's free. It's fun. We have a lot of good times over there. It's a good time to join up. It is free, as well as watching everything we do here free. Because if you like what we do here, we try and go live pretty much every Thursday night when there are fights to talk about around 9 p.m.-ish Central Standard Time. Dual stream live to youtube.com/@ I'm No Joe and twitch.tv/I'm No Joe. Pick it up in your preferred point of video ingestion. On the other hand, if you miss this live, we also leave the replays up on their respective platforms as long as they are allowed. If you missed this on purpose, I also understand, because we also own mirrors. And for that very reason, the week after we go live, we put the all audio version up on anchor.fm/I'mNoJoe. You can get it there through your podcast consumption platform of choice, Google, Apple, Spotify, everything you like. It's all over there for free as well. But if you like us, there's plenty of ways to consume us. Make sure you're around. The fun doesn't stop. That being said, that is all we've got for this particular episode. So until next time, boys and girls, don't let ignorance stop you. You can root for anything.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening. How do I say goodbye to what we had? The good times that made